Hey guys, welcome to Will Squared. I'm Will Sr.
And I'm Will Jr.
And today we're going to have a really special program, right? The podcast.
It's gonna be a great. Yep, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it's not going to last over an hour, but I mean, there's so
It
much
might.
to talk about because we are
Yeah.
going to be talking about college football. And then we're also going to be talking a little bit about baseball and how Juan Soto's signing with the Mets have changed
Everything.
a lot of the stuff for free agents in the Major League Baseball realm. So, but before we do that, I want to introduce two guests that we have. One, we all kind of know him because he's been on. He's Gabe, and he's from Texas with his little Longhorns a jacket on there. And we're going to talk about that because, yeah, we all know the Longhorns lost again to the same Georgia team that they lost earlier in the season.
I can't wait.
So we'll talk about that. But before we do that, I want to also introduce Davis Wallace, who's joining us from Chattanooga. He's been a long time family friend of Gabe and my brother, and so they've known each other for a long time. I'm pretty excited to hear what he has to say because I understand that he's a big sports fanatic. So we are going to get some good information. So I don't know, Gabe, why don't you go ahead and say hi, and then Davis, why don't you chime in also?
Well, hello there. I was going to say hook 'em horns, but currently just kind of laying low, waiting until the playoffs actually start. So I'm here.
And Davis?
Hey everyone, I'm glad to be here. Go Heels, especially after today. So I guess we'll get into that.
Yeah, he's pretty excited because
really.
And listen, guys.
Okay.
I'm a Miami Dolphin fan, so New England Patriots have always been my rivals, as well as New York Jets, who Belichick, and we call him Belichick. So Belichick we as in Miami, as in all everybody other than New England Patriots. Belichick signed a contract to become the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels. So he's pretty excited about that. We're going to touch base on that. We're going to ask him to give us his take. But let's just get into it. Last week, there was a couple of championship games that actually changed a lot of the seeding for the playoffs coming up in college football. Let's start off right away with Gabe's most happy time, Georgia and Texas. Gabe, what happened to Texas? And by the way, it was a really close game.
It was a
really close game.
It was a very close game. Yeah. I just want to say what I think really happened is that Dak Prescott dressed up as Quinn Ewers and decided to try to play football.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it. It. In all seriousness, it was actually a pretty good game. It was very intense and entertaining to watch. Obviously disappointed with how everything turned out. I do think our offense could have done more, but yeah, I mean their defense they just know how to shut us down. They showed that the first time we met, and then they showed it again. I did think we did a lot better at handling their defense, and our defense did phenomenal this game as well. So overall, like I can say, generally, I was pretty happy with what I saw. Obviously, not happy with the result, but I do still feel good going into the playoffs.
Davis, do you have anything you want to add to that?
For that, I mean, Gabe hit it on the head. I would just say they both have really good defenses. They're pretty even, hence why it went to overtime. Like Beck got hurt, and I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. That's the same I feel about Ewers as well. I feel like both of their backups are better than both teams respectively. So that's why I felt like Texas easily wins if Manning starts. And as you can see, when Stockton came in, Georgia for the most part, like their offense was better.
Yes.
So yes, I know they lost the SEC championship, but I still feel like Texas is one of the front runners, along with Georgia and Oregon, to win it all.
Yeah, I mean, the game was both teams did a lot of mistakes, right? There was some plays that could have been a lot, could have been executed a lot better, which could have probably changed the game. But it is what it is, right? So now Georgia sits as a bye, right? As Texas has to go and play against Clemson, and we'll talk more about that. But before we do that, let's run into Williams' favorite team, Penn State
Wait,
against.
whoa.
He's always talking bad
Wait,
about
no,
Penn State. Obviously, that's I'm being
What about
sarcastic.
my Georgia take? What the hell's going on?
Okay, all right, go with your Georgia take.
I have a
and
whole
then-
story planned out here, man.
Oh
Come
my
on.
goodness, here we go.
because I can't believe that Gabe did not point this out. They
Okay.
had 11 penalties, 3
That's true.
turnovers.
That's true.
Got called back.
I did.
That's
I
why
did
they lost
forget
the
about
game.
that.
Sark
Yeah.
called a good game, just like I called. I said, I feel like Carson Beck will not score like 20 points. Guess what happened? He got hurt before halftime. How many points did they score? Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're right.
3 turnovers got called back. 3 turnovers.
Yeah, but let's talk about those because
It's still penalties.
Georgia knew they were free plays, so he just threw it up
On
there.
one of them.
Yeah.
No, one of them.
No, I think 2
I
of
think
them.
on
It was
I
one
think
pick,
2 of them
like
for
one-
sure.
On 2
Yeah,
of them,
I
he
would
knew
say
it was
2
a
for
free
sure.
play. He just threw it up there, trying to see what would happen because he knew the play would have been called back.
But for Georgia, yeah, that defense is still top notch. The offense is going to be fun to see what they actually do. Because is Beck hurt or not? Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
I think
he
he's.
should get an MRI.
I think I saw last that he's
he out
not
for, like,
going to be playing. I think he's out. Yeah, I think he hurt his. I forgot. I just blanked on the name of that tendon in his elbow.
Okay.
So I think that's the last I
Yeah.
saw. I think he's out for the playoffs.
I think he's out for the remainder
All right.
of this season. Yeah.
The backup quarterback, he's a dual threat. So it's going to be like a good offense now. So let's see what happens. They have a slight road, really, really slight. They face the winner of. We'll talk about it soon, actually. Never mind.
Yeah. We'll talk about more about that. Yep.
Okay.
So last thing on Beck, there's currently no timetable to.
Okay.
bring him back.
Okay.
So there's a potential, but currently
Dude,
not.
I don't know, man.
arm went
that did
so
not-
back. Yeah.
Yeah, that did not look good at all.
It
I
looked
would think the only way he comes back is maybe for the final. Like that would probably be the soonest they could probably try to bring him back. But I wouldn't push it, honestly.
But at that point, you just use the backup.
And he did pretty damn
He
well.
got you there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
He
exactly.
would have gotten you
All right.
there exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, let's go ahead and move on then. Oregon and Penn State, Will. That's your favorite matchup because they're your both favorite teams.
I need help with this matchup because there's 2 things, right? Right? Because Penn State played great. And I'll be honest, I have never seen Penn State actually score that much
Okay.
or play good, honestly. So it was so weird. But does that mean that
Oregon?
they're not that good? Or does Penn State just have a great game and they're both just great teams? I'm still doubting it, honestly. But yeah, it was a great game. Gabriel played a great game as a quarterback. Penn State just had that one terrible pick, I think it was, in the last minute. I'll take it.
That and it's a neutral site game.
Yeah.
I mean, Oregon really didn't have anything to play for. They already, even if
they were in.
even if they lost, they probably still would have been the 1 seed.
True.
So it's their first year in the Big Ten. They probably didn't have that many fans there, so I guess you kind of have to weigh in those things as well.
Yeah, I mean, so Penn State scored more than I was expecting them to, but
Right?
then again, so did Oregon. I didn't think it was gonna be that high scoring of a game in
Me either.
general.
Me either.
So yeah, I mean, but no surprise at the overall outcome anyway. So I think I agree with Davis there. They already knew they were going to be number 1 and didn't really have as much to play for in their minds anyway. So
Well, so then let's just talk about the last big game, right? Clemson and SMU. We all kind of thought about this last week. Will and Gabe, we kind of were talking about these, where we were saying SMU should win, but we were all kind of saying Clemson's been there before.
yeah,
Right? Clemson's been there before. And so, we were expecting a good game from Clemson only because of the experience that they had.
Yeah, I mean, that's ended up being kind of the difference maker, it seems like, and I honestly was still surprised SMU lost. I was still definitely pulling for SMU to win that. That's college football for you. Flips scripts on its head all the time. It's just what makes it fun to watch. So, and then
Yeah,
both
and
games are in the
so
playoffs now, so even better.
yeah, I mean, so that this game kind of took both Miami and Alabama out of the playoff
Mm-hmm.
seating because it didn't fall the way it was supposed to. At least now, Davis, you don't know this yet, but I'm a Bama fan as well as a Miami fan. I've been a Miami fan for a long
This
time.
man said,
And then I've been a Bama fan probably, I don't know, 15 years now.
I think since yesterday.
Since yesterday. So, but yeah, so it took both of my teams out of the playoff scenario, which, by the way, Miami did it to himself, right? I mean, Miami should have won. They should have beat Syracuse, and they should have been SMU, and they should have been in a bye. But it is what it is. That's why we play. But just reactions on some of the other teams that got left out that you might have thought should have been in. Davis, what do you think?
Wait, bro.
Honestly, like I feel like you could make a case for a team like Ole Miss. I mean,
yeah, Ole Miss was another team. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they gave it to Georgia when they played a month or so ago, but that Kentucky loss that hurts them, and they lost to Florida a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. Like, yes, I know everyone talks about the SEC. Like, all they do is they just beat each other up week after week. I get all that, but like, you have 3 losses, and you can't have a bad loss, especially with how everything else is going. Like you already know the parameters. Like, if you win your conference, like you get a bye.
Right.
And you could say whatever you want about that, but like, so just like you have to be like on your game each and every week, and you can't, like, it's one thing to lose to Kentucky, but like to lose to Kentucky and Florida, especially after beating Georgia. So that's one thing I say. Like, you can make a case for that. South Carolina as well. Like, yes, they have 3 losses. Like, they barely lost to Bama, but again, 3 losses. I know you're playing the SEC. Like, yeah, you're coming on. Like, yeah, you beat Clemson, but you have these bad losses on your schedule. Bama as well, because that's the thing. Unfortunately, I work with a lot of Bama coworkers. So, and even talking to them today, they're kind of just like, well, like, at the end of the day, like, we didn't handle business, like, we left it to fate. So I'm just like, can't lose to Vandy, and even like the saying here is just like, Vandy is candy. So can't lose to Vandy. Tough game against Tennessee. They didn't really bring that game, and they got embarrassed at Oklahoma. So that really did them in. And so at that point, they're kind of depending on SMU to handily beat Clemson to get in and stuff. So that's part of it. I am shocked that like Bama wasn't in, just because the brand name. At the end of the day, it is a TV show.
SMU.
And does that happen if Saban's there? Probably not.
No.
But at the same time, highly doubt Saban would have had 3 losses this year.
Correct.
So he wouldn't even be in that position.
Yeah, and that's something that William and I have been talking about all season. This new coaching staff just didn't have this team ready. Milroe was just horrendous in a lot of those games, with a lot of picks and a lot of fumbles, and I think they expected him to carry the whole team, and he didn't do a good job at that. On top of the coaching staff just not having the team ready to play. Gabe, do you have any other team that you felt could have had a case to get into this into the playoffs that just never obviously didn't make it?
No, honestly, Ole Miss is who I thought was going to be in.
Yeah, we talked about this last week.
Yeah, exactly. And good point though. They did lose to Kentucky and Florida after beating a team like Georgia.
Yep.
So that was kind of the one. I personally didn't want Bama to be in there. I'm sick of seeing them around anyway. So I'm not losing any sleep over that.
William, I mean, we talked about this last week, but any team you were surprised that didn't make it, other than the ones that kind of we talked about?
No, because we predicted this. We all said that Clemson won. They were going to be in, and in my opinion, they were not going to get rid of SMU if they lost. Yeah, that's what happened. I was not surprised. Yeah, I was a little hopeful, of course. I was like, a little bit of hope. I was like, nah.
But at the same time, I don't think SMU makes it if they get demolished. Like, if they only scored like 10 or 10
that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. If SMU got destroyed, What's that?
It was a late like comeback, right?
Yeah. So the fact
They got lucky by that, honestly.
yeah, they somewhat made it competitive. So like you can't really knock them for
Yeah,
that.
that's fair, actually, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
All right, let's head into the playoff games coming up,
Ooh.
starting this upcoming week. Let's start off with, we just talked about Clemson, so let's talk about Clemson and Texas. Gabe, what is your take on this game? I mean, this is important that Texas actually win so they can continue down and play Arizona State.
Yeah, I think this will be a good matchup for us to go and then play ASU. I do expect to beat Clemson. I hope Sark uses Manning more. But yeah, I think we'll beat Clemson. I don't know about being a blowout or anything like that, but I do expect us to win, and I'm looking forward to that matchup against ASU. I think that'll be very interesting to see, especially with how
All
hot.
right, so you're already kind of throwing Clemson out of the way.
Yeah, basically.
Is that smart, Davis? Is that smart to do?
I mean, of course, you respect your opponent and all that stuff, but I just feel like Texas has a significantly better defense. Their offense is good enough, and like Clemson is just like ACC good, which is just like enough to be relevant just because like the name, but like they don't really have any like impact players that like I feel like, especially since the game is at Texas as well.
Yep.
Okay, well that's a good point. Yeah.
And the fact that like Clemson is the 12th seed, so essentially like they barely got in. So like they only got in because they won the ACC.
William, you have anything you want to add to that before we jump into the next game?
Like Texas should kill them. Yes.
Yeah, that's my take. Yeah.
Yes.
It should be a cakewalk.
Clemson has been like winning short like games, like honestly, really close games like lately in a weaker conference, and like Texas has the people like to win the trenches, honestly. So yeah, it should be Texas. Gabe is right. They should use like Manning more, but they're not going to. So yeah, like don't hope for it, honestly.
I mean, honestly, with a game like Clemson, though, if it is ending up being a blowout towards the end, we'll then see.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I'm right now. I want to see more reps of Manning for sure, especially in a more like a high pressure situation, like being in the playoffs. Who knows? You don't know if Ewers goes down. We need Manning to step up.
Exactly.
Like Georgia just had to have it. So.
But being that Clemson's been here before, you don't think that Debo is going to have something up his sleeve?
Yeah, like Dabo.
I mean, he's been here before. He's won it.
He could.
Yeah, all right. So
honestly,
let's just call it Texas wins this game. All right, let's move on to Tennessee and Ohio. How do you guys see this? William, we'll start with you. How do you see this game?
This has the potential to be a great game, honestly, because it's so unpredictable because of both teams. Tennessee beat like Bama, right? So they have a big win, but Ohio State, they lost like 2 big games. So it's gonna be a great game. Like Ryan Day needs to win a big game, man. So his career is actually on the damn line, or his job. Sorry, his job is on the line.
Yeah.
So if he loses, he's out. Honestly, he's out. So go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking Tennessee could pull off the win here. Terrible Michigan team. I say terrible as they're terrible Michigan team. Just
bowl game
beat them. So
yeah.
I mean, they kind of lay down the blueprint for how to beat Ohio, and I hope Tennessee can follow through. So I'm hoping Tennessee wins. Also, just because I have a personal just hatred for Ohio State in general. So fuck them.
All right.
Ohio State, why?
Dude, I don't know. Because growing up in Maryland, I for some reason, just being a Terps fan growing up, just Duke and Ohio are the two that I really don't like.
Yeah. Agreed.
So,
I hate Duke.
Yeah. Davis, you have anything you want to add to Tennessee and Ohio?
I do love the hatred for Duke. I'll say that, but
well, you're an NC fan. You definitely
exactly. That's gonna be tough. I really see it going both ways. I know like Ohio State's gonna be really desperate, just like you said with Ryan Day. Like it does seem like his career and life is on the line. But like Tennessee does have a really good defense, like probably one of the top. Yeah. I'd probably say their defense is probably a little bit lower than Texas's if I had to rank theirs. Tennessee has a really good run game as well. It depends on their quarterback, Nico. Like he can really it's only been like a game or two. Like he's really just aired it out and like put the team on his back. So, but I'd probably lean Ohio State since it's at home and like their fans are crazy. But like, I feel like that's
me too. Sorry. Yeah.
but I feel like that's gonna be the best game of the weekend.
All right. So let's.
Ohio State for me. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, Ohio State. Gabe, who do you think? Who do you have winning?
I want Tennessee to win.
Okay.
I think they can do it.
Yeah. And Davis, who's your predicted winner?
State.
I think Ohio State barely wins.
Yeah, I got Ohio State winning this one too. All right, very good. Davis, we're going to start with you. SMU, Penn State.
No.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing like with James Franklin. Like can't win. Like he basically is like another. I think he's probably like 3 tiers lower than Ryan Day. Like can't really win the big game. But with that being said, I feel like if you consider easy like a 7-10 victory, I feel like they beat SMU, especially since like it's at Happy Valley. I'm sure it's going to be another whiteout. It's going to be noon their time, so a little bit of a body clock issue with SMU. So like I feel like they'll get that. I wouldn't be surprised if that game's close or like Penn State will have to like a last minute field goal or something like that, or like a last second turnover or fourth turnover on downs type situation. I wouldn't be surprised just because it's James Franklin. But like it should be an easy win for them.
Yeah. William, what do you think?
Yes, he is right about James Franklin. But may I just say, if Penn State do not make the Final Four, I'm going to be embarrassed, and they should be embarrassed. SMU and then Boise freaking State.
Mm-hmm.
You have
they got the easy road.
They
really do
easiest game.
Yeah.
Okay, like them in Texas, but Texas has a more like
ASU is hot right now. So
yeah, exactly. So yes, I kind of want Penn State to lose, but then again, like them being in a Final Four would just be like funny. So in this game, I'll go for Penn State though. Penn State.
Yeah,
I think
Penn State wins. Gabe, what do you think?
Like defense, honestly, that defense.
Yeah,
it's gonna be good.
All right, Gabe, you have anything else you want to add to this one before we jump into the last game?
Yeah, I mean, you guys brought up basically all the points that were to kind of bring up, but I'm gonna say, screw you guys. I'm a huge car guy. I love Mustangs, so I'm gonna go with SMU. Just to be different. That's all.
That's fair.
I mean, to be completely honest, I do expect Penn State to make the Final Four or whatever they're gonna call the last 4 teams. Like you said, this is the easiest path, but I want to see the underdog win this one, so I'm gonna say SMU.
All right, I'm going to go with Penn State, but I think we also have to consider the weather, right? SMU, where are they from?
Texas,
South Texas, right? So they're coming from
Dallas.
nice.
Dallas.
Okay, Dallas. So they're coming from nice, warmerish weather into Pennsylvania, which is going to be.
I'll let you know. It was 40 degrees this morning. Okay.
Okay, well,
letting you know, it warmed up to 60, but it was 40 this morning. Okay, I'm letting you know.
Well, I mean, Penn State's up in no man's land.
Yeah,
they're probably in the low 20s right now. Who knows? But Penn State should have a pretty easy game. I don't know.
It's going to snow.
It's going to snow.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe that's going to keep the score down a little bit. All right, so I still have Penn State at home. Yeah. Let's go ahead and run into the last game, Indiana and Notre Dame. And as a Miami Hurricane fan, I really dislike Notre Dame. So, Gabe, you get to start this one.
All right. So I'm going to be completely honest. I haven't really seen much of either one of these teams game-wise. Okay. So I don't have a great sense. But you know what? I have a neighbor who played for Notre Dame back in the day, so I'm going to go Notre Dame.
Oh my gosh!
He's a friend now, so there we go.
You are not family.
In the past, I never would have supported Notre Dame, but I don't know. After that rivalry game of theirs that they just played 2 weeks ago now, they were pretty impressive, and I also just love that clip of the guy punching the hell out of the opposing player. That was phenomenal. Just that was so insane. Funny. I was laughing my ass off.
That was
just
insane.
You saw the helmet move all the way back before his head moved. It was the funniest thing on earth. So but I mean, this is probably the one game I can't talk too much, but
yeah,
Notre Dame is who I'm I would expect personally probably to win this one.
Yeah, and so William and I have been talking about Indiana, and William has a lot of opinion about Indiana. So go ahead, William.
I cannot think of two teams that I would want to lose less in a college football game, right? Indiana are the Cowboys of this year. They won against crappy teams and couldn't beat Ohio State. They had all this hope, being like 10-0, being like, we deserve to be a top 4 team. No, you don't. Okay. But Notre Dame, they have a bigger squad, a smarter coach, probably a smart coach, a better defense. So they'll probably win this game. I don't care. All I care is that Georgia beats the damn winner of this damn game by 50 points. That's all I care, honestly. But Notre Dame for me, honestly.
All
are
right.
gonna win, in my opinion.
All right, Davis, what do you think, man?
Well, just playing the odds, I feel like at least one road team is going to win. So especially since I picked all home
is
teams,
true.
I think Notre Dame is more of the Cowboys, just throughout history. Like
They
it's
are.
all this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like between like their home games being on NBC, the Golden Helmet, this and the third, the players, the coaches, but like they don't ever do anything in a bowl game, not a serious
Nothing.
bowl game. So like,
This
I know like Indiana's coach, like he's been talking a lot of junk. Like I forget like who he said like what Penn State sucks, Ohio State sucks, Michigan sucks. He says like essentially all these teams suck in the Big Ten.
Yes.
So granted, like they had a really good year, so I feel like they'll win. Just like that. That's my. I usually have like an upset of the week, so I guess that's my upset of the week. If you even consider that an upset, since they're both, I guess, Indiana teams, so it should be a close game, but still. Indiana.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Indiana too. Although, like with Williams' point, they don't really deserve to be here, but I'm gonna go with them just because I really dislike Notre Dame. I agree with you, Davis. They are like the Cowboys, America's team, for college football, which is very sickening to me because they haven't won anything since the early '80s. Or was it mid '80s when they beat Miami Hurricanes in the championship game there? But other than that, they haven't done jack squat, and yet they're independent, by the way,
which is annoying.
Which is annoying, yeah, because they don't get to they don't have a set.
They have
opponents like SEC does, or like ACC or any of those teams. They have rivalry teams. So let's go Indiana. All right, guys. So, it's going to be interesting few weeks. This upcoming week, we'll figure out and we'll know who the last 8 teams are in the playoffs. But let's talk really quick about the Heisman. I know there's been 3 or 4 players throughout the year that have been been in the front. Then they move back. So has there really been a clear best player this year? What do you guys think?
I think so. I think it's easily Travis Hunter.
Okay.
Really?
Because he's a two-way player?
Yeah, the fact like he's averaging 90 snaps a game, which is insane.
Yeah, it is insane.
True.
So if he just focus, like he's already elite in one area, if that's all he focused in. So like the other one, it seems like a hobby, which he's still pretty good at.
And he's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, he's an elite corner and he's really good receiver. All right. So you think Hunter should win it. Gabe, do you have another opinion?
I mean, Hunter is really, really good. But I don't know. I've kind of been keeping my eye on that Jeanty kid, the running back for SMU. I'm looking at stats right now.
He's nasty.
2,497 yards, rushing yards, 4th highest single season total in college football. I think when it comes to impact, I mean, like we were saying about SMU not being a super great team, I think he was a huge reason as to why they're even where they're at now. Like I think he's just had such a big impact on that team in general to get them to kind of like almost not quite carry them, but carry them basically to where they are.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's someone that I've been liking since they kind of started talking about him being a Heisman winner, like a month or 2 ago. So I've really liked him. Hunter is also like my 2 guys would be either Hunter or Jeanty. But I'm gonna lean towards the running back I like his stats and the impact he's had on his team. So that's what I'm expecting. That's who I want.
William, what about you?
Okay. Yes, it should be Travis, of course, because he plays both offense and defense. He's a elite corner, elite wide receiver, like good teammate, good captain. But it's not gonna be him, unfortunately. It's gonna be like John T. Okay, he's about to get the damn like rushing record. That's why he has 2,497 yards. And the record for Barry Sanders is like 2,628 yards. So he needs about 131. So he might like break that the damn like next game. So when that happens,
he's gonna have to break it because I don't think SMU passes.
Exactly. Well, I think his average this season to tag on to that has been like
Boise State, guys. Like Boise State. Boise State. They have a first round bye.
That's right. That's right.
Boise State.
Right. I'm being.
They're gonna play like Penn State.
True.
Probably.
True.
So that's my opinion.
Oh yeah. You're right. He is from Boise.
Dude, yeah, I know. I don't know why I was thinking SMU.
Y'all said SMU for the longest. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, man. We're not pros.
Okay. Should be like Travis, but it's not gonna be. It's gonna be like John C.
Any chance that Sanders gets it?
No, he's not.
He wasn't invited, but I mean, I feel like he should have. I feel like he's had a better year than Cam Ward. Like, I know Cam Ward, he is nasty. Like, he put the team on his back, partly because the defense was awful, so he kind of had to. It seemed like week after week, Miami was just playing with fire, and they got burnt a couple times. And I forgot who is it
Dylan Gabriel from Oregon.
He's the fourth one. I mean, I want to say he was preseason.
The top four already, man. Yeah.
He was the preseason favorite. Who, I mean, he's been solid. It seems like one of those like best player on the best team, so that's why he got the nod. But I feel like it's going to be between Travis Hunter and Austin Gently.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we only got to wait a couple days because it's going to be announced on the 14th, which is we're recording this on the 11th.
Yeah.
And it's just 3
really?
days. Yeah, it's just 3 days.
Oh wow. Oh, cool. Oh, that's cool.
So it won't be long. It's so next week we can talk about it. But the odds favorite is actually Tucker. He's got the odds to win that. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys. So before we log off, does anyone have anything else they want to say about the college football games coming up and just overall season that has happened?
Yeah, I think it's been a good season. It's just the fact that like it seemed like every week like there was importance, especially like with the rankings and stuff. So that's exciting, especially since compared to like the last couple of years where it was just like 4 teams and you knew like it was going to be like a Bama, a Clemson in the past, a Georgia, maybe like an Ohio State. So the fact like there's more teams, there's more possibilities for upsets and more games. So it should be good overall.
Yeah, I think the season was crazy. There was some insane score lines, right? SEC were beating the shit out of each other. I mean, you just didn't know who was going to win at certain times. So it was a really good season. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I was a little disappointed that neither of my two teams made it to the playoffs, but overall, it was a great season.
Yeah, especially the fact like there's no dominant team, and even like with Oregon, like they barely beat Boise State up in Eugene, and even like Georgia, like they beat Texas twice this year, but like they barely won both games. Like Texas came back the first time they played, and they had to go to overtime. So just the fact like it seems like there's no dominant team, and it truly feels like it's anyone's game this year.
All right. Yeah. Well, William doesn't have anything to say, which is not a usual thing. But anyway, so I'm Will Sr. and you're Will Jr. And we are out. Before we say bye, I want to thank Davis and Gabe for jumping on with us and giving us their thoughts on college football. It was very exciting. And I also want to remind you guys that tomorrow we're also going to be uploading a episode on baseball, which, with what's been happening this past week is going to be a lot of conversation on that. So we will see you later. Make sure you comment, you follow us, And Will and I, Davis and Gabe say, see ya later.
See ya.
Yeah, bye.